Hello friends and welcome to my channel. My name is EJ Marino and today's video is going to probably piss some people off. It's probably going to be a big discussion for this fan base, but I am here to declare that Canada's Drag Race is the best season of Drag Race in quite some time. So I have been putting off this video for quite some time because I didn't know the exact words I would use to express my feelings on this season. But now that it is wrapped, now that we have a winner, and we will talk about that winner, but yes, now that we are at this point in the Canada's Drag Race legacy, I am here to declare that I truly think this is one of the best seasons, hell, the best season in quite some time. I'm going to say as far back as like season 8. Yeah, a big, bold declaration, but I have some feelings on Drag Race Canada and why I think it is so important, so impactful, and just so well made. It's going to shock some people, and I know this is going to rile up the fan base because people have some feelings on Drag Race Canada. It seems to be mostly negative towards Jeffrey Bowyer-Chapman and his judging, which we will talk about as well. I have no issues with his judging. Now, his makeup and his looks, those are different things. Mr. Jeffrey Bowyer-Chapman, we will talk about your aesthetic. It needs to be worked on. But his judging has never offended me. It reminds me of Santino at times. It's a little harsher. It's a little bit more pointed, but it never feels rude or out of place. Like, everyone's gotten in on him on the fat shaming stuff because he told Alona she needed to, like, put makeup on her body, and that's just a makeup, that is just a drag fact. It is clean, it's an aesthetic. It's not, he wasn't like, girl, you had rolls all over your back, you needed to fix that with some makeup. He literally just said, hey, it just will look cleaner, throw some makeup on it. And then Brooklyn said the same thing, but Brooklyn didn't get the comments. I wonder what the scenario is there. But we don't have enough time, and I am not the person to talk about the racism in the Drag Race community. That is something for someone a little bit more qualified to speak on it, but it is hard to ignore. So yes, I've seen a lot of critiques towards the judging. I don't particularly understand why that has been such a problem. I guess I'm also coming into this loving that there is no RuPaul. I was nervous because I'm like, well, yeah, RuPaul is kind of the main part of the show. In other seasons, it's RuPaul's Drag Race UK, RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars, all of this. But Canada's Drag Race had a different name, and it has a different vibe. Without RuPaul there, like, doing trauma porn to get all of the sadness out of the queens, to not just critique them about their inner saboteurs, to not pull out tired, old, cliched stuff, it's a completely different vibe. This is a season that I thought was so well produced, so well made, with great queens, great challenges, and some incredible lip syncs. And then, that's all just the season itself. And then we get to that finale with an amazing winner. We will talk about the winner, and I'm going to say there's spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, sorry, because we have to talk about Piranka winning this season. A queen that I think was, I walked in loving Piranka. She was a queen I really enjoyed. I liked Piranka, Jimbo, and I don't know, Rita Baga was someone I also liked, which one of them, two of them made it to the top. So I was really glad to predict that. So yes, I walked in really excited to see Piranka as a winner because of her culture, her history, her race, what she could do for this show for representation. But that is just a small fraction of that. She's a queen that I thought was hilarious. Grew. The whole show to me is about the growth. I think Rita Baga had good growth because she was really at the top, went down, and then kind of came back up at the end. Scarlett Bobo, who was also in the top, didn't have the arc that I think Drag Race likes. Piranka had the arc. She was doing good, dipped out, doing good, dipped out, and then just came back strong. That's the type of storytelling I want to see. So we have just all of these factors coming in to make a good pot of a damn good stew. For a while, it was hard for me to place exactly what I enjoyed about this season over other seasons. We had just finished a season of All Stars that I reviewed on my channel, and I did enjoy. I had no ill will against this season, but it just didn't like connect in my soul. Then we look at season 12, 11, 10, 9. Those are seasons that have good winners, they have good queens, they just don't have the oomph other seasons. I haven't seen a season of Drag Race completely just scalp me bald like this season since honestly All Stars 2. All Stars 2 is the last perfect season of Drag Race with the best queens, the best challenges, the best lip syncs, the best moments. That was such a well-made season, and I thought we would never get that again until Canada. From the moment this started, this had a whole different vibe. It doesn't have the grandiose vibe as an all-star season, but it doesn't have the mechanical, the producer meddling as a regular season has. This felt like early Drag Race, and I'm talking like season 2 and 3, which are some of my favorite seasons. I am an old school Drag Race fan. I have been watching this straight out of high school since the beginning. I was in love with it. So I have this attachment to those older seasons that feel more raw, more candid, with the queens getting to be themselves, with the queens not, scared to piss somebody off because social media would attack them. This was a season that I saw the girls on Canada really come in, be themselves, have the attitude, the energy that's needed, but still had fun. I never felt like anyone here was trying to legit be the heel, be the bad guy of the season, or try to be the fan favorite. Jimbo is the only one with a weird arc that was someone we all loved, and then for some reason on the show got a little too cocky, a little too confident, which I think is what hurt Jimbo in the end. So yeah, I don't think this show had the typical tropes and cliches that we normally see during Drag Race. We also have one of my most diverse casts we have seen. We have like indigenous people, we have like West Indian people, we have older queens, plus size queens, non-binary queens. This was a season that overall impressed me with the caliber. I mean, earlier, like queens who went out early in the season, like Anastasia and Juicebox, were all still strong competitors. This was a season that I think once they trimmed the fat a little bit in the beginning, it was just a clear cut, like, damn, this is a talented group of queens, and they showed it after challenge, and then with those lip syncs. I love the lip syncs of this season. I am just completely enamored by how incredible each and every lip sync was. I love that they were all Canadian artists. I just love so much of what was offered in the lip sync stuff. I loved UK. UK is probably my second favorite season of recent memory because of what it did, of the well-produced, the Frock Destroyers, the Vivienne, all of the great queens on that season really make me like it. But something about this one just feels so much cleaner, and it goes down to things like the lip syncs being better. Each and every time a queen got up there, I was just like, ooh, I like this song. Are they gonna do it well? And then like Rita Baggett eats You Oughta Know. Then Paranka just does so well here. And oh my god. We had Girlfriend as a lip sync. What? Like Avril Lavigne. This is what I'm just saying. I had fun again. I felt like little EJ watching Drag Race and just being in love with it, and it's hard to have that feeling. I haven't had this feeling since I remember Bob the Drag Queen winning, like let's say a regular season, since when Bob won, and I was so hyped. Then we go to season 9 and we all kind of make fun of season 9, and then I went to All Stars and I was so hyped about All Stars. So I'm just happy that we have a season like Canada that feels so old school but has a newer flair, that has a better attitude, that has that newer polish that I like in the show with that old school attitude. This is hard for me because my thoughts are all over the place. I've watched this finale twice now, and I'm just really in love with it so much. And I don't know if it's a newness bias, and, a year from now I'm going to completely forget about it, and that could completely happen. But sitting here in this moment, thinking about this season, I'm just so in love with it, and I think my passion for this season comes from seeing the negative fan reaction online. I try not to care what, the 15-year-old twinks and the 13-year-old girls who love this show, I try not to care about their opinions, but it seemed like they had something out for this season. From their weird overall praise of RuPaul, which it's so funny in some people in the community are like, yo, RuPaul is tired, we don't need her anymore, she's the fracker and all that, and then we have the other ones ones that are like, it's her show, she's the best. And I'm like, we could be in the middle. I think she's a legend and icon. This is her show. But also, RuPaul's personal taste in drag doesn't match with my personal taste in drag. And that shows with the queens and how they're handled and all of that. And we see this season, you know, Brooklyn, Jeffrey, and Stacey all had their points of view on drag. They all had what they enjoyed. But it felt like they never let that truly interfere with their judging. Every time they kept somebody, I was just like, well, that makes sense. Like, I was shocked when Lemon left, but I wasn't like, oh my god, they are so mean and horrible. Same thing with Jimbo, a fan favorite, a queen who I wanted to win. But by the time Jimbo left, I agreed with the judges. I agreed with all the critiques. And that's what I really like about this show. Every time they would do a decision, I would accept it. And I would just be like, oh, that's fine. That makes sense. Same thing with this top 3. I haven't had a top 3 in a while that I was just like, well, girl, anyone can win. And now, the last All-Stars that passed, I was really excited for, like, Jujubee and Shea Coulee, but I just really wanted mostly Jujubee. As much as I love Shea and respect Shea, I wanted Jujubee. This one where I was just like, girl, I don't even really like Scarlett Bobo, but she's doing her damn thing this episode, because that final performance was the shit, too. Oh my god, Scarlett ate that up. I was surprised she didn't win off that alone. So yeah, this was a refreshing feeling for me as a fan to go in and just accept everything that was happening, because it felt like we were being handled with care. It felt like we had the producers, you know, Jeffrey and Brooklyn and, you know, the people who make it were just really guiding us along the way. They weren't trying to manipulate anything to make us feel a type of way, and even if they were, it was subtle. The recent seasons of Drag Race, I can feel the producers being like, hey, go ask them about that certain moment, because you know it's going to start drama, Derek Barry in India. But yeah, this one just didn't have that. We would have the producers do the, hey, ask them about how they feel, you know, at the tragedy mirror. We would have those moments, but those don't offend me as much as the fake, forced, manipulated drama. That wasn't here. I don't know if it's just Canadian television is a bit different than American television, so we don't like the, you know, they don't like the scandalous tea, they don't want the petty-ass drama, they just want a straight-up competition with queens doing well. That's what I want. I don't care about the outside drama, I don't care about who said who and what. I want to see drag queens wear good outfits, do entertaining skits, sing good songs, dance their asses off. That's all I simply want, and that's what this show offered me. I know that some people are going to be like, you just hate RuPaul and you like it because RuPaul wasn't on it. And that could be a fair point, and I can see that RuPaul not being here was a big factor. It just felt so new, different, and just refreshing. And I think there's a lot that really boils down to what makes this season so special for so many people. Now, I'm curious of how other fans are feeling. That's why I made this video. That's why I wanted to do just kind of like a stream of consciousness, just get all my thoughts out and talk about this with you guys, because I want to see how other people feel. Am I in the minority here? Am I one of the only ones who truly think this season was just that damn good? Or am I just blind to it? Am I just like, RuPaul and Michelle weren't really here, I am good, I don't have to see Ross and like Carson? Oh my goodness, that is a blessing. Any day without Ross Matthews is a blessing in my life. That's why when y'all were getting on Jeffrey Bowyer-Chapman, I'm like, but we don't get on Ross for, like, you know, when you're getting a peach and it's not really ready, and that was you in season. No, I don't want that. I would take Jeffrey's ugly ass eye makeup and harsh critiques over Ross and Carson every other day. Sorry, that was a little tangent on something else. I just feel like sometimes I'm not in tune with the other Drag Race fans, and this is one of the few times that I felt like a season was built and made for me as a viewer. It offered me everything I wanted, from impactful queens, from memorable moments, to non-produced drama, to actual entertaining sketches and performances and musical numbers. All of that was here, and that's all I want. It feels like I'm just asking for a lot for a well-made drag show that isn't completely dramatic and overproduced. I know that sounds like I'm asking for a lot, but I'm not, and this show gave it to me, and it's rare that I feel this positive leaving a season of Drag Race. Usually I'm like, well, that was fine, that's okay, but Canada, like, I wanted it to be over and I can just restart it. This was a season that when it ended, I was just like, wait, there's no more episodes? I don't get more Piranha jokes? I don't get to see Jimbo just scream and be a weirdo? What am I gonna do with my days? I haven't felt that in quite some time. It's insane that Drag Race Canada has let me feel this, has given me a new energy, a new lease on life in the Drag Race fandom, and I can't be the only one. So please let me know, guys, if you agree with me, if you like this season as much as I do, or if you hated it. That is completely fair. I would love to see, if you do not like this season, let me know down below as well. I want to talk with the fans. I want to figure out what we all are feeling, because maybe the producers can see stuff like this and start guiding this season to how we like, or if people don't like it, they can avoid it in the, in the future. So let's talk about it, guys. That was it for my overall stream of consciousness, my overview, my feelings on Drag Race Canada. Canada's Drag Race is a season that I completely love. If you have not seen it yet because you had Drag Race fatigue, I completely understand, but I've already spoiled it. So if you're here now and saying this, sorry, but truly, go see this. If you haven't seen this, see it. If you have watched it and you loved it, watch it again. It is so worth the viewing. Alright guys, let's talk about Canada's Drag Race down below. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to my channel because I make videos like this every single week. And give me a thumbs up because YouTube takes those way too seriously. Alright guys, let's talk about Canada's Drag Race down below.